She wasn't a villain. She wasn't a god. She was a girl, broken, used, and forgotten by time. In the universe of Attack on Titan, there's one character whose silence speaks louder than any Titan roar. Ymir Fritz, the founder of all Titans, the origin of it all. She obeyed for 2,000 years, without a word, without resistance. But in the end, she made a choice. She sided with Eren Yeager, and together, they almost erased the world. Why? Let's dive into the darkness that made Ymir the most tragic and terrifying figure in the entire series. Number 1. The girl who found the devil. Before Titans, before empires, there was just a girl. Ymir was born into slavery. Accused of letting a pig escape, she was hunted through the woods like an animal. That's when she found it, the tree. And inside that tree, she met something ancient, something inhuman, something no one could ever understand. When it bonded with her, she became the first Titan. But power didn't bring freedom. It brought chains made of blood and fear. 2. The king's weapon. Instead of setting her free, King Fritz made Ymir his weapon. She crushed enemies, raised walls, and bore his children. Her life became a tool of conquest. And when she died saving him, he fed her corpse to their daughters, so her power could live on. Even in death, she didn't get rest. She got orders. 3. The ghost in the paths. Ymir's spirit entered the paths, a place outside of time where she existed alone. For 2,000 years, she built titans from sand, silent, emotionless, invisible. No voice, no will, just endless work. Every titan shifter, every transformation, all traced back to a girl too broken to scream. Number 4. Zeke's Order, Episode 20. Zeke Yeager thought he had the answer. He had royal blood and a vision to stop the Eldian curse by sterilizing all subjects of Ymir. Inside the paths, he gave her a clear, cold command. End it. Make it so none of us can have children. He expected her to obey, like always. But she didn't move. She just stared. 5. The one who saw her. Then came Eren. He didn't give orders. He didn't beg. He saw her. You're not a slave. You're not a god. You're just a person. Those words, they cracked something open. Ymir cried, not because she was free, but because for the first time in her endless life, someone asked what she wanted. 6. Why she chose Eren. So why did she choose him? Why follow Eren's path, knowing it would kill billions? Because Eren didn't offer peace. He offered revenge. He offered a world-ending scream for someone who had never even been heard. And Ymir, she took it, not out of hate, but out of exhaustion. The world had never given her mercy, so she gave it silence. 7. Was Ymir evil? That depends on how you define evil. She was used as a weapon, chained to duty, erased from memory. And when she finally had a choice, she used it to end everything. But is that villainy or justice? She didn't laugh. She didn't scream. She just watched as her world came down, finally letting go of her curse. Ymir wasn't evil. She was tired. 8. The slave who became the curse. It looked like fire, because fire was the only language the world ever spoke to her. Ymir's entire life was flame, villages burning, innocents screaming. Her body turned into a weapon, her soul erased. She was born in fire, molded by fear, and in the end, consumed by it. But that fire wasn't rage. It wasn't justice. It was release. When she handed her power to Eren, it wasn't loyalty. It was surrender. A tired child finally letting go of the burden she never asked for. 9. The curse of silence. She wasn't just the founder of Titans. She was the curse. Every shifter, every transformation, every wall built with bones, they all started with her. Not because she wanted to rule, but because she never stopped it. For 2,000 years, the world twisted her into a myth, a devil, a monster. But the truth? She was a girl, punished for being alive. The deal with the devil wasn't power, it was survival. 10. Eren understood her. Eren Yeager didn't see a god, he saw a girl, and that made all the difference. He didn't command her, he didn't lecture her, he spoke. That broke something inside her, not because it was a magic spell, but because after thousands of years, someone finally asked. 11. Ymir and Eren, mirrors of will. Ymir saw herself in Eren, not because he was kind, but because he was tired. Tired of being used, tired of being shaped by others, tired of waiting for the world to fix itself. He didn't seek peace, he chose the scream. And Ymir, she heard it, and for the first time in her existence, she answered. 12. The paths, her invisible prison. The paths weren't magic, they were her cage. A world beyond time where she built titans from sand silently, endlessly, watching every war, every transformation, every cursed child. No words, no rest, no choice. And then came Zeke. He stood in her prison and gave her the same thing everyone else had, an order. End it. Make it so none of us can have children. But she didn't move. She didn't obey. She just stared, because she had stopped listening. 13. Ymir's final act wasn't violence. It was indifference. Ymir never raised her voice. She never fought back. She didn't scream when her body was broken. She didn't cry when her children were forced to eat her corpse. So why, after 2,000 years, did she finally act? Because silence can be louder than war. Her revenge didn't come from rage. It came from letting go. For centuries, Ymir built titans for those who asked. She gave Marley its monsters. She gave the Eldian royal line its control. She gave her own descendants the burden of transformation. But one day, she simply stopped caring. She didn't destroy the world with her hands. She just didn't stop it from happening. That's how deep her pain went. She let Eren do what she never could. Make the world feel what she had felt every day for 2,000 years. Powerless, small, terrified. The rumbling wasn't her revenge. Her revenge was apathy. The same apathy the world had shown her when she was chained. The same apathy the king showed when he fed her to her daughters. The same apathy the generations of Titan shifters showed as they used her like a machine. She didn't hate the world. She just stopped believing it deserved to be saved. And when someone finally asked what she wanted, she didn't say, "Make things better." She said, "Nothing." And that silence was her final answer. No army could match that kind of power. No Titan could scream that loud. Ymir's revenge wasn't fire. It was freedom without hope. She walked away from the world and let it collapse under its own cruelty. What the world called her. The world called her a devil. The king called her a tool. History turned her into a myth. But the truth? She was just a girl. A girl who waited too long to be free. A girl who molded monsters because no one ever asked her to stop. A girl who finally found her voice, and it sounded like fire.